welcome to the Dime Detective, where the goal is to read more and worry less. I'm Ainsley, and today's video is something extra special because I finally have a reading vlog for you. Yes, this is the Shadow and Bone Trilogy reading vlog. I'm really excited to bring this to the table because it's something I've wanted to do since starting this channel, which was in January. I don't know, oh god, I don't know where this year has already gone. It's already March. This is crazy. So this is the vlog, and I do want to mention that I do refer to Sage and Storm as Sage and Storm multiple times. Most of the time during this entire video you will hear that happening, and I do apologize if that's really annoying for you. That is my bad. I cannot believe I never noticed it. I didn't notice it. I was like, wait, it's not Sage and Storm. I have no idea where I even got that. So but I also have my predictions for what I believe I was going to rate these books, and then at the end of the video you will find what I actually rated them, so that'll be cool too. But let's get into the rating vlogs for Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising.
I look atrocious, I know, sorry, but I just got to I just passed the part in Shadow of Bone where she finds out that the Darkling is a bad guy, and I definitely thought that was the case. I've not actually seen the series, and I have heard a little bit, so I was kind of partially spoiled on this book, but I wasn't 100% sure about the Darkling's motives, and so I definitely was like, don't trust him, girl, do not do it. And now I'm at the part with his mother, and this quote I really like, and it's, "You think I don't love my son," she said, "but I do. It is because I love him that I will not let him put myself beyond redemption." And I really love those moments in books where it's love that's not just like a romantic love, it's a friendship love, and it's, or a mother and son, just familial love and stuff. So I found that very endearing. And I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm excited to get to the rest of the books in this series. I don't think I'm going to move on to Sage and Storm right after. I'm gonna like put another book in between them, just so I don't get bored. It's for my attention span. I'm currently reading Sage and Storm now, and I am about to start back again. I have just started chapter 5, and I'm really loving this. I already think I'm loving it more than the first book, Shadow and Bone, but I can't really say 100% yet because I haven't read. I think you have to kind of know like once it's done. But I do think this one has just a lot more. I don't know yet. I don't know the words yet, but it definitely has a better pace that I like better. And I have to say that I'm not really into the Darkling. Like, I like his character for what it is, but like any added love for that character, not so much. But I really like the relationship between Mal and Alina. I like that they are friends first. Like, their foundation of their relationship is friends. And I feel like I can't, and something that I also really like is, I like when you're not 100% sure who is the trustworthy character, or if, you know, there's multiple ones that you're not 100% sure if Alina or Mel should trust them, or if they're really there to help, or
what their agenda is, and I like that. I think it adds suspense, and it definitely adds it heightens the stakes. So I feel like there's the stakes just feel higher in Sage and Storm. I really like this part that I just wanted to share, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this name. Sturmund? So I apologize. And it's, Mel crossed his arms and considered the privateer. I can't decide if you're crazy or stupid. I have so many good qualities, Sturmund said. It can be hard to choose. I love little moments like that where it's just kind of like funny or sarcastic or whatever. Sorry, I just want to check that. I'm getting really nervous for what's going to happen between Mel and Alina. I am really liking them and their friendship and their just entire relationship, romantic and otherwise. And I'm really starting to get scared because I'm at the part where I just finished chapter 6, and I'm just worried about them because I really do like them, and in the first book, Genya, is that how you say it? I'm gonna be questioning how to say all of these names, but Genya was my favorite in the first book. In the second book, I'm really loving, I just said his name wrong a billion times, but the captain of the ship, he is my favorite so far. But I really do this relationship between Mel and Alina, and I'm worried. I'm worried. Okay, so I've definitely heard people talk about Nikolai, and I was like thinking, who is this person? And so I'm assuming the Nikolai that I've heard people talk about is this guy who is like, he's a prince. I know some stuff about this book, but I don't know a whole lot about this book. So it's kind of interesting. I feel like I'm going in blind, but also like there's like these little bits that I come across and I get myself confused. I've just finished chapter 9, and I really love Nikolai. He's my favorite so far. And I have to say I really like that Alina, and really the text is it has a lot more levity to it, and this adds a lot more personality to the text and a lot more personality to Alina, and a lot more to her relationship with Mal and her relationship to others as well. And so I think that's one of the things that makes this book so much better than the first, was that it gives us a lot more meat and a lot more complexities to this character and to the entire text, and really opens up the world. So I'm definitely loving this one a lot more than the other, and I just feel even more connected to the book, and as I move through it, it's a lot easier for me to read. I don't know if that's the word really, but I feel like I'm more enthralled with the story and I'm more engaged with the world. Good morning. I can't honestly remember the last thing that I talked about in regards to Sage and Storm and the characters and how I'm feeling about this story so far. I haven't been able to read as much as I wanted to on both Sunday and Monday. I had a plan starting Sunday that I was going to read that I was going to read 100 pages a day for the week, and that challenge is gone. I might try this later, but I just don't think I'm capable of that kind of challenge during the week. But I did want to come in and do a little debrief on my feelings towards Sage and Storm at the moment. And I did write some notes into my Notion.
And so overall, I feel like Nikolai is definitely my favorite character of this novel, and I like the levity that he brings the to the world, to the Grishaverse, as well as, what is it, Tamar and Toila? Tamar and Toila, they also bring a lot of humor, much needed humor that I just don't feel Shadow and Bone had. Sorry, I caught my hair. What the fuck happened? Anyway. Um, um, and I love this dynamic. I'm interested in this dynamic. I can't get over my hair right now. I'm really interested in the dynamic between Nikolai and Mel, and Nikolai and Alina. I feel like for me, Alina is probably the most. She's not super interesting to me, and a lot of that I think has to do with the predictability of her character, and I don't know. I think I'm liking her a lot more in Sage and Storm than I did. Yeah, I feel like I'm always saying the wrong title. In Sage and Storm than I did in Shadow and Bone, and so her trajectory I'm feeling a lot better about, but overall her character is the one I'm least interested in. I'm certainly more interested in Nikolai in this book, and yeah, that's it, I guess. Definitely taking me a lot longer to get through Sage and Storm than I would like it to, but I'm tracking all along, or trudging all along. And I think, it's nothing to do with the book itself, because I do like this one more than Shadow and Bone. I think one of the big things is just with work and I'm tired, but I have a few little things that I realize I'm not a particular fan of, and that is that and I think this may have been a bigger problem with Shadow and Bone, and that was there was a lot more tell me moments that I'd like, and there's nothing, sometimes you're gonna have to tell something, but I feel like that's one of the things that also makes me not be a big fan of first person narration, because being able to see it from the perspective of being told in third person is from at least what I personally think is better for certain books, and one of those would be fantasy. It's nice to see Alina's point of view, don't get me wrong, but I think I would have gotten to know Mal a lot better and had an even stronger connection with Mal, and I probably would have had a better connection with Alina as well, because I don't really feel myself connecting with her in the way that I wish I could. But yeah, I think that's one of my biggest qualms, and I can't say that's really a big issue with just these books too. There's other books where I'm like, I kind of wish that this would have just worked better here, and that's not the case for every single one of them either. That's just something that I've been thinking about. So tell me your thoughts, and if you agree or disagree. Hey guys, I am I am popping in to tell you that I did finish Sage and Storm. Hey guys, I'm popping in to tell you that I did finish Sage and Storm on Saturday, is it 19th? The 18th? On Saturday, and I do love that book so much more than I love Shadow and Bone. I don't think Shadow and Bone is horrible by any means, but I did really like Sage and Storm a lot more. It is definitely a lot more mature, and I have already started Ruin and Rising. I started this last night, and I read a good portion of it today, and I'm already loving this so much more than I loved the other two, including, Shadow and Bone and Sage. We'll just say I really Sage and Storm. I don't know why that title specifically is the one I had the most trouble with, but I am really loving the levity that is continued in Ruin and Rising, and it's come into the other characters as well, including the characters that are not Alina and Mal. So we've got Nadia, who's cracking some jokes, and we have some great moments with Zoya, and we've got the relationship growth and the individual growth occurring in all of these characters, including Alina, who I think really needed it. So I do think the character growth it grew through Sage and Storm, but it's definitely improving in Ruin and Rising. And I'm really excited to see where this story goes. To have Nikolai back, and with that, I'm also great to see that his relationship with Mal is not of two rivals or two, love rivals. I like that the relationships in this are allies. Of course, when there's things that may not. The Darkling is not an ally to Nikolai and to Alina, but it's good to see that Nikolai and Mel are getting along better, and Alina and Zoya are getting along better, and it's grown up, and it's just a lot better. I'm really liking this. Oh. Okay, so good morning, everybody. Or good day, I don't know what. So yesterday I was reading Ruin and Rising, and everything was good, and then it got to a really important moment, very climactic, and I didn't get to finish what was going on because I had to go to work. So rude. I didn't learn my lesson, but because I already read this morning before 6 o'clock. It just turned 6 a.m. now, and but I think I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to get caught up in another moment before having to go into work. But I know things are gonna be okay for Nikolai. At least I think they are, based on some things that I've heard. But I had no idea what was gonna happen there. And I like how in Ruin and Rising, as Alina is getting closer to people and she feels like she's got something to lose, the stakes are a lot higher. I didn't really feel a whole lot of stakes in Shadow and Bone, and I think that's why that one is lower rated for me, or that's one of the reasons why it's rated lower. But as this trilogy has gotten further on, I feel a lot more connected to Alina and to her story. And I think that's because Alina is a lot more connected to her surroundings. She has roots, basically. I mean, she hasn't really been able to settle down anywhere because of what's happening, but she is connected to more than Mal. And I think she's also getting to know Mal better and not knowing who she maybe thought he was when they weren't together. And I'm a lot more invested in their relationship as well, because it's not her only relationship. She's had or she has growing ties to other people, including Zoya and Nadia and the other people who are around her, David, Genya. Yeah. And there's this freaking cat, I swear. Like, I feel like that would be me. I would bring my dog or cat with me everywhere. Like, not sorry about it. I'm sure many people feel the same way. If you got a cat, if you got a dog, like, they're coming with you. And I there's just something about Ruin and Rising. It's a lot. It's the pacing is a lot better than it was in Shadow and Bone, and Siege and Storm. I can never remember the freaking title of Siege and Storm. And I'm pretty sure I was calling it Sage and Storm. But I genuinely, for me personally, these books are getting better and better and better. And I have heard people say that they don't like Siege and Storm because they feel like nothing really happens in it. And I disagree. I think that Siege and Storm is a really great book to have as a second book in a trilogy because there is immense growth that occurs with not only in the quality of the writing but also within the characters, and it connects Shadow and Bone and Ruin and Rising really well, where I feel like there's no connection that Alina really has to anyone outside of Mal, and Mal's not around her, and she's making a lot of assumptions. There's a lot of things that she doesn't know, and unfortunately by the end of Shadow and Bone and within Siege and Storm, she finds out a lot of what she was in the dark of, and she learns a lot more about herself, and a lot of relationships starts to grow that are then growing immensely within Ruin and Rising. And so for me, especially reading these all closer together, I feel this really great thread that goes through these. And in reading Ruin and Rising, I think I can appreciate, at least right now, I appreciate Shadow and Bone a lot more as a book as well. And I'm really interested to then go in later, probably within a year, and maybe reread these again and see how I feel about it and how maybe those feelings have changed. So we'll see. But right now, I'm absolutely loving Ruin and Rising. I think this, just where the stakes are, the pacing, and the relationships of these characters had made this a much better book than the ones that preceded it, which, to be honest, that's what you want. I don't think that's what you necessarily get a lot, is having the third book or the final book within a series be that much better. But I think that's, of course you want all your books to be great and you want people to really love all of the books and connect with all the books, but when you can end on such a strong note, I think that's a good thing to have. So I'm excited to finish it, but I'm also kind of nervous and sad because I am really enjoying Ruin and Rising, but I'm also really excited to get on to Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. So we'll see. I'm Alina right now because I'm asking myself, did I know this? Did I know that Mal was the third amplifier? Because I feel like this is not something that's necessarily shocking, because this isn't, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but like, this book or in the series is not necessarily anything groundbreaking, but certainly when you look at a lot of fantasy and sci-fi and things that are similar within the genres and of these type of books and media in general, entertainment, you'll find that things like this are occurring. I'm a mess right now, guys, because I literally was like in shock. And I don't know why. I'm Alina right now. It is the next morning, and I expected to get up a lot earlier, but I didn't, which is good. I needed the sleep. I needed the rest. It is 10:37, so I'm going to finish Ruin and Rising. I have approximately 70-80 pages left, which in the morning on a weekend is so easy for me to do. That's what I feel like I get the majority of my reading done, especially in a short sitting. But I'm really excited to get this done because I need to finish this vlog that I want out this week, and then I'm going to film some more just some more videos, and I also want to get started on some other things because I really want to do or read Leigh Bardugo's Ninth House, and I really want to be Talia Hibbert's Get a Life Chloe Brown, and some other things I just really kind of want to read more because I'm not necessarily on a book buying ban now, but I have quite a few books that I have not read and that I got this month and still last month, which you'll see in every book I got in February video. And I'm excited because I feel like I'm not as overwhelmed as I may have been at another time in this situation, because that was always one of my hardest things and something that really caused me to go into these reading slumps and get into a really bad reading rut, is I would just get incredibly anxious and overwhelmed, and it was difficult for me to focus on just 1, 2, 3 books, however you personally read. And I think, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what's best for me when it comes to reading, so I've just been taking it kind of one book at a time, and I may get to a portion of the book that's close to the end and then start another one. So that's kind of where I'm at in my reading process now, and I think that's one of the best things that you can do when you're in a reading slump is reevaluate your own processes and what you do and how you read, I guess, and your routines and how you do it. So I don't know, I'll probably, once I kind of know more for myself, I'll make a video on that as well. But I don't know, I'm kind of I feel like I'm in a good place with that, so I'm gonna sit down. I've got my coffee and I am going to finish Ruin and Rising, and then I will get back in with ya.
When it comes down to the end of it, I know I didn't have a lot to say Shadow and Bone, but I did think that it maybe could have been a if it was told in third person, I think that it would have been better, because Alina was very difficult to connect with. You can see how the writing matured from their first book into the second and then into the third book, and the levity that was added along with the way the relationships grew, including the relationship between Alina and Mel, Alina and Zoya, and then the other characters and their relationships growing with each other. There was a lot more solid a foundation in the last book, and I know there were some people who said that did not happen in Siege and Storm. But I personally think that what occurred had to occur. Like, it was just I much preferred Siege and Storm to Shadow and Bone, and I preferred Ruin and Rising over them all. I think that it was the much better thought out and executed book in the trilogy, and it makes me more excited to continue with Leigh Bardugo's writing, as well as jumping into the Six of Crows duology. But I am going to share with you my final ratings for these, and where it had them at 3, 3.5, and 4, I actually have them now at 3.5, 4, and 4.5. And I think I'm sticking to that. I'm really excited to get to do these again, probably down the line. I don't know if that's going to be what it is. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, so I really enjoy these books, and I'm excited to get into more of Leigh Bardugo's work. I am currently reading Ninth House, and then I'm going to go on to read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom that I do have on my shelf currently. I don't know how I'm putting off, but there's just so much that I want to read and do. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more from me, please give this video a like and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified every single time I post if you feel like doing so. And if you have anything to say, please feel free to comment below. And you can find my social medias as well as my website, ainsleypeace.com, linked in the description box below. Thank you again, and have a good day. Bye.